fisherman, he'll fish anywhere. Anywhere there's water, Lord knows he'll be there. He's just like a gypsy, mighty hard to hold. Great American fisherman got fishing in his soul.
Fishing with Roland Martin is brought to you by Shimano, tomorrow's tackle today. The world's most advanced fishing line, ultra-sensitive prime and tough strand from DuPont. Mercury Outboards, the legend lives on. And by Ranger Boats, we still build them one at a time.
Toledo Bend, Rayburn, and Conroe, he won't forget. He loved Lake of the Ozark, he loved Table Rock. Oh, shows on the White River, he ain't gonna never stop.
9 times Bass Angler of the Year, 16 times National Bass Champion, and all-time leading money winner, Roland Martin, is fishing today with Dr. Greg Bamanek, better known as Dr. Juice. Dr. Bamanek, a medical doctor and amateur anthropologist, discovered the secrets of his fish attractant following a 1978 visit to Central America, where he observed the rite of the fisherman's moon performed by an Indian shaman. More about that on today's show, plus an extraordinary discovery by Dr. Bamanek of ancient American Indian fishing secrets on an isolated Lake Superior island. Plus, fishing for steelhead salmon and lake trout.
You know, there's only one true fighting rod out there, because there's only one company that knows how to build a real fighting rod. The same guys who invented it, Shimano. Shimano fighting rods are absolutely the most sensitive, fastest fishing, hardest hitting rods in the world. And with over 45 different models, lengths, and actions to choose from, there's absolutely no reason to fish anything else. So take it from old Roland. There's only one fighting rod. But be careful. If it doesn't say fighting rod, don't buy it.
This is Prime Cofilament fishing line. 2 fibers combined for half the stretch of monofilament line. So it's more sensitive, so fast, so powerful, it gives you the advantage to outfish all the rest. Prime Cofilament, sensitive, fast, powerful, from DuPont.
Yeah. No tämä on yksi.
With these exciting new Pro Series tapes, we'll be telling you how to catch more fish with Micronar Marine Electronics. Some of the world's top pros passing along very valuable tips on fishing with specific Micronar fish finders. With 4 different tapes in the series, there's one included with your purchase of any Micronar flasher, chart recorder, LCD depth sounder, or color video sounder. Micronar, the sport fishing star from Cytex. Well, Doc, this is what they call Lake Gitchigumi, Big Lake Superior. Biggest lake, I guess, ever.
Yeah, it's a big lake, one of the biggest in the world.
And we're going to catch what? Big lake trout?
Lake trout, maybe some steelhead.
Steelhead and
salmon.
Salmon of all sorts.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, right, but before we go fishing, I've got something very mysterious to show you that can help us with our fishing. Now, you know, you're a scientific fisherman.
Oh, I need all the help I can get.
Okay, well, you believe in the Solinar tables,
sure,
tide tables,
no.
Even the common daily calendar helps in fishing. Well, I've got something on this beach to show you that's over 2,000 years old.
Wow. Listen, folks, this is Dr. Greg Bamanek, as better known as Dr. Juice, and he's a noted anthropologist who studies ancient Indian cultures, and he has some secret things to tell us today. Let's go find out. Let's go. Hey, show me some of this stuff. This is great, Doc. This is grand. This is grand. Okay. Okay, Doc. Boy, these are some rocks, aren't they?
Well, look at these rocks. This is a spawning beach.
Look, they're all smooth. smooth and all. It's a perfect place for them to spawn.
And these rocks go under the water, and that's where the lake trout spawn. Now, those ancient medicine men knew a trick or two about those ancient lake
now,
trouts.
didn't you tell me that this lake, say at the last ice age, used to be a lot higher in elevation?
Oh, yeah, it was up to 500 feet higher.
Now, what was that? How long ago was that?
Oh, that was over 10,000 years ago during the last ice age. And then, since that time, the level of Lake Superior has dropped successively, and we can go up the beach and take a look at that.
Okay, let's go. That's great. Okay, Doc, you lead the way.
Okay.
Master guide.
Yeah, right up here, Roland.
You've explored a lot more than Lake Superior, though. You've been all over the world doing this kind of thing.
Yeah, around the world.
Wow.
Watch out for these rocks.
Well, look at this big old bunch of rocks. Doc, they're everywhere.
Well, Roland, this is what I wanted to show you. Come on into this oracle grot right here.
Big old pit with a big wall around it. It's a big, giant thing. This is one of the biggest ones I see, though. How come this one's bigger?
Well, this is used for sighting, and it is used for calendar purposes by the ancient medicine men, and they could have predicted when the lake trout were up on those reefs.
Doc, that's some powerful magic. Tell us how it works.
Well, you know, Roland, imagine this. Let's say we're Indians out here 2,000 years ago, and we put torches into these pits that line up, and it'll point to a certain direction, kind of like a cosmic gun sight. And only one day a year, the sun will set at that exact point. That makes it a calendar structure, and you can date any day of the year. And for them, dating the fall dates was important. Also dating major events like the solstice and the equinox, and only a calendar is going to give you that kind of information. Weather doesn't.
You're the first scientist that has identified these as to something to do with fishing. And
that's right.
You actually placed these dates of the fall, these fall sunsets that no one could understand what they meant. Because the fall didn't mean anything to anybody else. But you as a fisherman knew that that was something to do with fishing. And then you pinpointed that on the spawning cycles of these many species of lake trout.
Very important to the ancients because 70% of their diet was fish. And to know when those fish were up on the reefs was helpful because they were only there for 7 to 10 days a year. The rest of the time they're 100 feet, 300 feet deep in the lake, and the ancients couldn't get down there like we can with our modern methods.
Well, speaking of methods, you have some methods here to show us about how they caught those fish.
Yeah, let me show you some of the ancient methods. Well, here I've got some of the ancient methods that they'd use for catching lake trout. Here's a small fish gorge made out of a deer rib, and you tie the line right around the middle, put it in some bait. When the fish swallows it, and you pull on the line, it turns sideways in their throat.
No fooling. Oh, it'd go down this way, they'd swallow it like that.
Right, they'd swallow it like that, and when you pull back, it turns sideways. You have to have a good net man on that.
I'll bet. That's quite a hook.
Here, a medicine man in Minnesota showed me this trick. That's a rabbit bone. Now, when you shape it, it turns out like this. Look at that
that's
hook.
The same bone. That's quite a hook.
And you don't even need bait with this.
Oh, really?
Because the lake trout like the smell of the rabbit bone.
Oh, boy.
And they'll swallow it right down. Now, here's a piece of raw copper.
Raw copper?
Yeah.
That's
found out at Isle Royal. Lots of it is.
That's just a few miles.
Just laying on the beach. Now, I've pounded some copper hooks out of that, and you can see how they made these copper hooks.
So I guess this area where you could have this metal and where they could find the malleable copper was such an important area for the early Indians.
Very important to them to get this copper to make useful tools. And a fish hook is a very useful tool to a hungry Indian.
Oh, boy, I bet. I'm getting hungry, too. We haven't caught a fish all morning.
Well, we ought to go fishing.
Are we going to use equipment like this, or are we going to use something a little bit more advanced?
Well, I think maybe try with something a little more advanced, but I wanted to show you this ancient site here.
Wow.
That we would consult these osmic cairns to know where some of the fish were and what times they were up on the reefs.
Well, I tell you, folks, the Doc has some really great old-time techniques, but now we're going to move out on his great big 26-foot boat, and with some of the finest, most modern techniques known to man, we're going to show you how to catch some modern-day fish. Well, Doc, here's a lure all ready to go. I tell you, we're really lucky, fortunate, a lot more fortunate than the Indians were 3,000 years ago. We have the best equipment ever. Gosh, this is a lure that I know that you're familiar with, and just show the folks a little bit about how you prepare it for today's fishing.
Yeah, well, this, of course, is a Rapala with the gold and orange, and it's a real good color up here in Lake Superior. And, of course, we put on the a bait float juicer right up here.
Now, that's just a type of plastic that absorbs the oil. It absorbs the scent.
It absorbs the scent. It won't absorb water. It's called hydrophobic. Little tiny pores all the way through it, and it causes prolonged release of the scent. It'll come out over an hour to hour and a half period of time. When usually on a lure at the Dr. Juice lasts about a half an hour.
Now, normally, Doc, on my bass fishing, I normally just take a lure like this and I'll just put a drop of, say, Dr. Juice on there, much like, can you do that too?
Oh, you do that also.
I just maybe make that kind of an application, maybe every 30 minutes I'll do that.
That's right.
Okay.
And that'll stay on, yeah.
Another thing, if you notice, the Indians didn't have sharp hooks like we have today. These are really sharp, I'm telling you what. So that thing, that'll catch them. That is the sharpest hook in the world.
Yeah, that's actually a tip in using Dr. Juice, is to have that sharp hook, because you're inducing fish to strike when they ordinarily wouldn't strike, those inactive fish. And so if they are hitting it light, they're still going to get hooked. And that's going to increase your catch.
Then again, in the last 40 years, I've made great inroads in monofilament. That sure helped the modern day fishermen.
Monofilament, yeah.
But just the rods and equipment are really a great thing. These are graphite Great Lake trolling rods. These are soft action rods. These trout and these salmon, coho, have a fairly soft mouth, and you don't want to have a lot of hard pressure on them. So they purposely make these rods like 8.5 feet long. And they're just a little bit stiffer than, say, a fly rod. They're quite limber in action. And they're coupling that up with this large level wind. This is what I'd call a heavy-duty freshwater type of reel. And that's about 20-pound line, or how many pounds is this line? 20-pound line. A good drag system, a great rod system. Okay, Doc, how far are we going to put this back?
Put that back about 20 passes. And then, of course, we're going to put it on the board line.
Oh, yeah.
You know, about 100 feet away from the boat.
Okay, that's the real deal, to see how that board operates. That's really something else. Okay, now it's gone out almost far enough, and a couple more revolutions here. There, I think it's far enough now, Doc. And we'll get a rubber band, put the rubber band on the line at the half hitch, pull it tight. And now we clip that.
Right onto the shower curtain.
The old shower
clip.
Curtain deal. Okay. Now we release this
and
whole
let a
deal.
little line out.
Now we have to put it on the planing board. That's something else.
Yeah, and the rubber band should have a little nick in it, you know, so it comes.
Pull that down.
With the shower curtain on here. A little flagging so you can see it.
Okay.
All right.
We let the whole thing out. Wow. What a deal. And then the angle of the boat, being as it is, it just carries it out automatically.
Yeah, it'll just slide out as far as you want it to go.
Now, if I want to stop it, I just put it in gear. But in this case, we want this first one all the way out to the planing board, right?
All the way out, because we're going to put 2 other lines on here for a total of 3, you know, on each side of the boat.
It's just going out. And then we'll just put we'll put a couple on the same line. What,
right.
2 or 3 or so?
Yeah,
That's
so we
great.
get 3 on here.
The legend. Flat out fast, bold, distinctive, Mercury, the most advanced outboards on the water. And now there's the awesome race-tested Laser XRI, the only fuel-injected production outboard anywhere. The 150 XR2, thundering power from the boss of bass boats. Pull the trigger on excitement. Mercury, the legend lives on.
You know, there's only one other hat I wear when I'm fishing, and that's my Fish America Foundation hat. Over the last 3 years, Fish America has put more fish back in our waters through over 70 action projects, and that's good for all of us. But they need our help, and it's time we all gave something back to preserve all this. With a $25 or more donation, you'll get this hat, patch, and a membership card. More importantly, you'll be helping to protect and preserve fishing. So join Fish America today.
Make check payable to Fish America Foundation.
Minn Kota means quiet power, and a maximizer power control means longer running. They come together here in the Minn Kota 65MX. It runs days instead of hours per charge, shows how much charge remains, and gives you infinite speed control. So now you have a choice. Add maximizer power control to your old motor or get it built in a 65MX for quiet power that catches fish.
Dr. Juice. One drop is powerful magic.
Fish on! Hey, all right.
Okay,
yeah.
okay, there he goes. There he goes.
Great.
Son, I got him.
Great,
He's not
yeah.
very big.
It's starting to go on a feed here, that's for sure. Fish on.
There, right there, right there.
Another one, double.
Hey, way
All
to
right.
go. Get him, Doc. Hey, way to
all
go,
right.
son.
You can just see
That was
him
the one we
pulling
just put
on him.
out. We just put that one out.
Yep.
I love it. I love it.
We got it crossed
Folks,
here. Why don't we
which one's
cross
which?
over?
Hey, let me take this
Now.
one down.
Yeah.
Take this one down. Okay, now where are we? Okay, right. Another one hit right here.
Hey, there's
there
another,
he goes.
another rod. We got
rod.
three.
Okay, here.
Who's-
Here goes. Here goes.
Oh, I got.
3 on.
Oh, jeez.
Holy moly. Hey, 3 on at a time. Doc, you have a light? I love
I'm
it.
sorry, I can't get a
What are
light
you going to
here.
do? Here, we can do like this and take turns reeling this one in and just, you want to reel for a while?
Here, I'll give you that one. I better take this one.
I'll tell you, folks, when you hit a school of these big trout, you're going to get them on about every rod. What species of lake trout do you think we'll catch today?
These could be some redfins.
Redfin.
Yeah, some
Now,
native fish.
They're the most native, they're the most respected, they're the pinkest flesh and the pinkest fins,
Yeah.
I guess. Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
that
look at
one's-
that one. He's going crazy now. That's 3 fish on at a time. That's not bad. Now, is there any size limit on these, Doc? How big do they have to be?
I don't think there's a size limit, you know, but we release most of them up here.
Do you
up
really?
in the far north, yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. Way to go. That's one.
Hank, you better get...
Okay, there we go.
Okay. Hey, all right.
Okay, now, Doc, you still have that other one on. You
Oh,
better get
yeah, the
him.
third
While
fish.
you're at it, we got the 3rd fish.
Forgot
Okay, now
about
one
that.
fish has come loose. Good. One fish has come out of the box. We're going to let him go, Doc? Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to let this one
Yeah.
go. I'm going to let the first one go. There we go. Oh, he swam away good. Now, if we can... Hank, do you have a pliers that we can get this fish out with? That's going to be a little tricky. Doc, I got this one free, and he's in
Okay.
pretty good shape.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to let him go. Okay, boys? Aha, love it. Okay, now
Right,
you
get
have
that
that
net.
third
We
fish
got
on.
these lines
What a
still caught in
bad
there.
deal we have here. Still,
Okay, maybe I can ease him in over here. He was... Whoa.
I don't want to take him too green. That's a good one.
Put the net to him. Take him.
There we go. All right. Nice
There
one.
we go.
Ooh, and he just
He
came
just
off.
came off. Slick as heck, boy.
Dandy steelhead.
Nice.
Dandy.
Steelhead.
Okay.
Oh, that's a trophy.
Here you go, Doc, if you
That's
get that one out of
dandy
there.
Yeah.
What size are the steelhead run? That's a pretty big one
That's
there.
a nice one.
Yeah, it's a nice one. Steelhead,
That's
yeah.
a nice
That's
one.
a good one. Okay. Heck
You
of a
can
deal.
see the nice red coloration there.
Oh, really?
Boy,
Yeah.
look, it's been
Something's been chewing on it.
up in the river, probably.
Spawning. Beat
Yeah.
the tail off on the spawning red.
Tail's
That's
been
something
beaten
else.
right off on the bottom.
Well, I tell you what, this is all right. We're getting a little bit of everything, folks.
Yeah, this is a male.
A male? How can
Yeah.
you tell the difference?
Well, the upper part of the snout is more pointed.
Okay.
And then if you push it, this little gill, it's not a gill plate, but right here under the mandible goes back farther than the eye. See, if you go
Okay.
straight down from the eye, that goes back
Okay.
further, and it's a male.
Well, that's a nice one.
You can see, well, you can't see that it's a square tail because it's really chewed up.
It's
Look at
chewed
that.
up. Been up
Yeah.
the river.
Yeah.
Well, you going to release him?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Great.
like to release steelhead.
Super deal. Okay. Well, that's a good one. Okay, folks.
Okay, get the net here.
I'll tell you what, Doc, I'd like to keep one fish at some point, if he's a decent one. Take one home
Sure.
to Florida to smoke. And also, while we're keeping that fish, I want maybe to have you show the audience a little bit about that, his perception, his sensory perception with his nostrils.
Sure.
Okay, here he is, Doc. Yeah. He's down there a little ways.
He's coming.
Okay, here you go, Doc.
And he's still got some spunk.
Yeah. Hey, look. Hey, now that salmon or that lake trout has a little bit redder fin. Oh, is that one you're talking about? Is that the
Yeah.
subspecies more like you're
Yeah,
saying?
this is more of a red fin here.
More of a red fin. Well, I'd like to keep one of them maybe. Isn't he pretty? Okay. Now that has a redder fin. Okay, I can see that pretty easily. Yeah. Now you were mentioning on their olfactory perception. They have an olfactory perception right here.
Well, that's right. They have nostrils. They have the front nostril where the scent goes in. And as you can see, it'll come right out the rear nostril, and it goes over the olfactory organ underneath there.
Oh, Okay.
They're constantly sensing the odors in the water around them. Gives them lots of information.
They can smell 1,000 times better than we can, probably.
Well, a dog can smell 1,000 times better than us, but it's unbelievable. A fish can smell 1,000 times better than a dog.
Golly, they can really just sense one or two little molecules every so often.
Mm-hmm.
That's really something. I'm going to keep this one, Doc. We're going to take it back to Florida. Take this one back and smoke them. Okay.
Put them in the live well here.
Put them in the live well. Hank, you charter fish much of the summer. How often do you catch and release your fish?
We try to encourage catch and release. However, the general public, charter clients like to come and take a few fish home to eat. The federal and state agencies do a wonderful job of planting and maintaining their resource, and we try to provide as much enjoyment and taking home a few fish to eat is part of the game.
Well, Doc, this is kind of an interesting area we're fishing today. It's a big shallow bay, or not a shallow bay. It's a
fairly
couple
shallow
hundred
for
feet
Lake
deep.
Superior. Yeah,
But
about
the
100
average,
feet deep.
I think you said the average depth of Lake Superior is what, 800 feet?
Yeah, around 800.
Here's one. Oh,
hey, all right.
Okay,
yeah.
okay, there he goes. There he goes. Ha ha!
Great.
I got him.
Great.
He's not very big.
They're starting to go on a feed here, that's for sure.
Yeah, there's one.
Well, let's see. Maybe I can get this line out before.
But you got a strike?
No.
Oh, that's a nice fish, Roland. Nice fish.
Now there we got a good fish. Maybe we're in a little pot of steelhead here.
Really?
That'd be nice.
Now, I guess the growth rate in Lake Superior is probably a little less.
Yeah, it's cold water, but it's actually a lot more fertile than people would realize. Yeah, a lot of phytoplankton.
Well,
lots
I know that
of
there's
nutrients right on the bottom. There he came up on the surface, yeah.
Boy, he's really a fighter. Okay, boy. There we go. Nice lake fish.
Yeah, there we go. That's good eating size,
I love
I'll tell
it.
you.
Boy, he's a fat one.
That's good eating size.
That's a good eating size one, huh? I'll tell you what, folks. This is fun. Fun for an old bass fisherman.
Yeah,
I tell you, it breaks the monotony of just having to go out and catch those 8 and 10 pound bass all the time.
Yeah.
You know, somebody's got to do the dirty work.
That's right, that's right. You have to do that.
That's a good one.
Yeah, we'll
That's fish. That's good. I guess we'll let him go, huh?
That's a redfin.
It's no wonder their hulls are patented. The ride and performance is exceptional.
Attention to detail. It's more than building boats that look good on the outside. It's a total commitment to quality.
Nobody wants to be caught on the water by a storm. All I could think of was, what if I hadn't been in a Ranger?
The Ranger difference. We still build them one at a time.
Fishermen, there's only one place to buy your fishing tackle. It's where I buy mine. I buy direct from Bass Pro Shop, America's leading supplier of premium fishing tackle. Bass Pro Shops has everything you can imagine, the top brand names plus many exclusive Bass Pro Shop products that you won't find anywhere else. Let me send you a copy of Bass Pro Shop's brand new 1987 spring catalog absolutely free. Call 1-800-BASS-PRO. That's 1-800-BASS-PRO and start saving on your fishing tackle right now.
Short of a stick of dynamite, there's no faster way to pull fish out of the water than with the incredible new Speedmaster graphite reels from Shimano. With their unbelievably high-speed gear ratios, they're the fastest reels on this planet, which means you can make more casts, cover more water, and catch more fish. The new Speedmaster series of graphite rods and reels from Shimano. For catching fish, they're nothing short of dynamite.
That'd be really interesting to have a bear or something come down and try to grab that little boat.
Yeah, grab the board.
Yeah, swat
the rolling board,
as
right?
it comes by.
Well, a moose might.
Or a
They're
beaver,
along shore.
or something just followed along.
Yeah.
Oh, Doc, you go on there. Take it,
There we go.
take it, Doc. Way to go, son.
All right.
All right. Way to go. Boy, that was on that inside far rod, closest to the shoreline.
Close to shoreline, yeah.
Closest in.
There's still some up there.
That's something else. Well, I'll have to check these other rods. Maybe there's some more fish here. It seems like there's several doubles here.
Sure, there's some action. Yeah, I know that it's kind of on the surface. You get those big ones, and they really sound. And they stay down, too. They're hard to get up.
Yeah. That's gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous.
There, just lift him in.
You gonna just lift him in? Be easier
yeah,
to
we're gonna
catch
release him anyway.
Boy, that's a nice one. Kind of small. Now that's just what, 3 or 4 pounds. Now, how old is that fish?
Oh, he's about 3 or 4 years old.
Who is he?
You get those hooks out. I got a hold of him here. Okay, I think he's ready to go.
He's in good shape. He'll be ready to go and grow a few more years.
Yeah, he's fine. Little, you can grow on him. You still notice there's no lamprey marks on these fish
good.
up here. Whoa. Notice there's no lamprey marks.
Well, now the lamprey, that ruined this Great Lakes fishery for a number of years.
Yeah, when they opened that Welland Canal, they got up in here and it was...
It just totally wiped out almost all the lake trout in the whole lake. But then they've developed a new algicide or lampricide that's very effective and it controls the lamprey eel.
That's right, they put it in the rivers and it hits the young lampreys. They live in the river for a number of years. And so it kills them. It's very expensive. And so now they're putting in a lot of lamprey barriers. They have a metal lip on a waterfall and they can't crawl with their sucker up around the lip. They can crawl with their sucker right up near vertical surfaces.
Wow.
So they get up to the rivers.
Oh, here's a fish. Hey, Doc. Oh, son. Here's one. Oh, like a lead freight train. Boy, I don't know how far he is out. He's pulling some line. Look at that thing go.
Boy.
I thought these lake trout didn't fight a whole lot. They fight a lot.
Oh, yeah.
They're making a run. He's screaming it. Come, boy, that is a bigger fish. I tell you what, these big old lures today are trouble for these lake trout. We're catching them right and left, folks. This is some good fishing. And I tell you, thanks to Doc, I don't know how many more fish we're going to catch today. It looks like a big rainstorm's coming right now. But, Doc, it's been a pleasure fishing with you today. And it's been enlightening because you've explained to us all a little bit more about how fish smell. And it's really an important concept, and it's one that I thoroughly endorse. Yep. And I want to thank you very much for the fine fishing we've had today. Doc, it's been a real pleasure. And, you know, it's really been a great day, figuring just in a couple hours we've caught a whole bunch of lake trout. So, folks, the next time you're up at Lake Superior Way, up around Duluth, stop in and see Dr. Greg Bamanek, and he'll tell you a lot more about how to catch lake trout, that's for sure. Doc, it's really been a pleasure, and thanks for enlightening us all about the concept of scent fishing. Thank you.
The great American fisherman got fishing in his soul.
Fishing with Roland Martin was brought to you by Shimano, tomorrow's tackle today. The world's most advanced fishing line, ultra-sensitive prime, and tough stren from DuPont. Mercury Outboards, the legend lives on. And by Ranger Boats, we still build them one at a time.
He's off to chase the stripers around San Francisco Bay, down to San Diego County, on to the Rio Grande, heading by that hot spot down by the Sandy River Dam. Great American fisherman, he'll fish anywhere, anywhere there's water, Lord knows he'll be there. He's just like a gypsy, mighty hard to hold. The great American fisherman got fishing in his soul.
What about Shasta, Norris, Thames Fork, Smith, Wheeler? What about the Finger Lakes, the St. Lawrence River? And of course, there's a Roosevelt, Elephant View,